Hey guys, Lindsay here. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're all well. I'm doing great. I have my cup of coffee and my new mug, and I will talk about that in just a minute. I apologize for not having a Thrifty Thursday video yesterday. It was just super busy, and I know I did a video yesterday morning, and that kind of had me in a different mindset. So anyway, I had to work in the morning, and then my daughter was presenting a play at my youngest son's school, so I went to that with my grandmother. Then I had to take my grandma home, come back to my house, and get a few things out of the way before the kids got out of school. And then I thankfully had dinner in the crock pot. I made chili. It was delicious. And then we had to go to our junior high and high school are now combined. They not really combined, but there's two separate buildings, but they put an area in the middle and they call it the commons, you know, the common area. And our choral department put on this really fun program last night. It was the first time, but our new choral director, she is awesome. Honestly, I went to school with her. I was in choral programs with her, and she's really great, and the kids love her. Anyway, this program was called Triple C, Cookies, Coffee, and Choir. I think I got that in the right order. Anyway, and it was kind of this coffee shop type atmosphere, and they had like a little stage set up, and the kids could go up and perform, and of course it was organized, but it kind of laid back too. Like the kids didn't have to dress up in any particular way. They could just come as they are, you know, come as they were. And it was awesome. My son did the sound and DJ'd and everything, and my oldest, I should say, because he does that. He does do DJing and sound for a lot of the things at the schools. Pardon me, having a wardrobe malfunction. Anyway, so we went to that last night, and little did I know that my daughter was performing a song by herself. I knew she would be performing. I didn't realize it was a solo. Now, for her, it was a huge deal because she has backed out of so much because of her stage fright, her nervousness, anxiety, whatever you want to call it. She got up and she sang this beautiful song, and she may not have had it perfect, but you know what? She tried so hard. It was not an easy song, honestly. I don't sing this song very well myself. I've been singing for years, and I have difficulty with certain songs, and that was one of them, and I was surprised she picked it. I didn't know what song she was singing until right before she performed, and I asked her. I thought she was going to keep it a surprise, and she told me. But I was just amazed. And some of the talent that we have at our schools, even just the junior high kids. One of my daughter's, not real close friends, but a girl she knows, played the piano and wrote her own lyrics to, well, her own rendition of a song from an older composer, Moonlight Sonata, I believe it was, and she wrote her own words to it and kind of put her own little spin on it, and it was amazing. And some of these kids just, and I have another, there's a girl who used to be in my Girl Scout troop, and she sang Hallelujah, and oh my gosh, she belted it out like she'd been singing for 30 years, whatever. Anyway, it was amazing. But I will insert a clip here of part of what my daughter sang last night, just so you can see why I was in tears last night. My husband was crying, so I apologize if the camera is shaky at all, because my husband was trying to record it and he was crying. It was amazing.
He sprinkled me in pixie dust and told me to believe in him and believe in me. Together we would fly away in a cloud of green to your beautiful destiny. As we soared above the town that never loved me, I realized I finally had a family. Soon enough we reached Neverland. Peacefully my feet hit the sand, and ever since that day I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And when we're bored we play in the woods, always
Isn't that so sweet? I have to add that she was complaining of a sore throat yesterday, so I believe she could have done better, but she went for it even though she wasn't feeling the greatest. So I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for getting up there and attempting it at all, and she did very well for having a difficult song that, like I said, I can't even sing that song. So, yeah, she made me really proud. And like I said, the song just, and that song, it was just so fitting for the time. And, you know, considering she's just kind of growing up, and that song is, to me, it represents kind of a little bit of like innocence and youth and whatever, but I don't know what it, you know, what it represents for you or anyone else. But if you didn't know, that song was Lost Boy by Ruth B. So if you want to look it up, I actually kind of listened to it and kind of compared. I've heard the song before, but she did so well. It was nice to go and have that little bit of relaxation last night, and we got coffee and cookies because, like I said, it was the Triple C Cookies, Coffee, and Choir. They had these adorable mugs for sale. Now, mind you, it was really hard for me to pay money for these mugs because even as cool as they look, and the inside is blue, it's nice. As nice as they look, they were $8, but you could have unlimited coffee refills. I only filled it twice, so that's, you know, not the greatest, but it is money that is going to support the choral program at our school. So I did that. But they had a good deal on cookies. Like, you could buy a bag of cookies for $1, and some of them had like maybe 2 to 4 cookies depending on the size in them. So that was a pretty good deal. My husband bought a mug too. My son, my oldest son, since he was DJing and doing the sound, he got a free mug. So now we have 3, and I thought, well, then we should have bought one more. We would have had a set. Anyway. And of course, I love my oldest son, but sometimes, as mature as he is and responsible, sometimes there's that like 5% of the time that he reminds me he is still a teenager and has issues. Yesterday and the night before, I was spending time trying to figure out what to do about his cell phone. Now, mind you, we've had this cell phone for only 10 months, and stupid me, I did not buy his phone outright. I should have. I put it on a payment plan thinking it would save us a little bit of money each month, and then I put insurance on it. I should have just bought the phone outright, because I believe at the time that we got his phone, I probably could have bought it outright or found a refurbished one or whatever for a decent price. But now, and this is where, you know, as frugal people, we sometimes slip up because we're not perfect. But yeah, I made a mistake, and I got this phone on a payment plan. We've had the phone for 10 months. And now the screen's not working. I'm pretty sure it's just the digitizer that needs to be fixed. However, the store that's about 30 miles away from us, which is the closest, they usually don't fix that kind of thing. We've had a similar issue with another phone of his. Actually, I think it was the same exact issue with an older phone. And they wouldn't fix it there in the store. I don't know why. They hardly ever try to repair anything. They just try to get him a new phone. Well, our insurance is a little different now. They've changed up some things with some of the newer phones. You have to pay a little bit of money if you want the phone replaced, or if they tell you that it can't be fixed, it has to be replaced. You have to pay, and I could pay close to $200 so he can get a new phone. I'm still paying on the current one. We still owe $400 because he's only had it 10 months, and I am just stressing trying to figure out what to do. So I said, you know, let's get your other phone back. We had a phone that was an older phone that was backup. He lent it to a friend, and that friend dropped it in a toilet. So now we have no backup phone. So I had to ask around politely and see if there was a phone he could borrow or I could buy for, $50 or less, which I hate to spend money on a phone that he's probably going to only use for a short time. Anyway, my mom had a phone that he could use and he had to deal with it even though he said he didn't like it. I said it's either this or nothing. I'm not spending money on another phone because we're still paying on the phone that's broken. So before I switched that phone over onto his, so before I activated this older phone for him to use, I had to submit a claim for the insurance. And of course it told me there was no store within 50 miles that would repair it. So I have to wait for the postage paid envelope to send the phone in so they could attempt to repair it. And I'm hoping, I know it can be fixed. My son fixed, this is like the third time we've had an issue like this with a phone. I think the first time my son actually bought a kit to fix the screen. It came with a new screen and digitizer and everything, and he fixed it. Well, the second time he didn't want to mess with it, so we took it to a store and they ended up saying the phone needed replaced. Well, that phone could be replaced at really no extra cost to us. I think it added a little bit to our bill, but maybe $50. But this phone he has now is a fairly new one. It had pretty much just come out a couple months, maybe a few months before we got it for him, and it was a birthday present. Anyway, so it's gonna cost more to replace that one, and I'm not happy about it. So fingers crossed. I told him he's gonna have to use this phone he's got because there's just no other option right now. We have bills to pay. We just had to buy tires for the van, and that was $300 because I had a flat the other day in one of my good tires. Anyway, so $300 for tires. My husband needed new boots. Thankfully, I found him some nice ones discounted for $80. And it's just, and my daughter needed her minutes refilled on her track phone. All of this happened all at one time. And I am just, oh my gosh. Oh, and just before that, we had to pay to have the bumper that sat in our living room for 3 months. We paid to have that painted. Not only that, but we had to pay for the paint. We found a friend who could, well, not a friend, a coworker of my husband's that could do automotive painting. He offered to do it at a low cost to us if we bought the paint. I had never had to buy paint for a vehicle before, and just for a quart of this paint for my van. And it's a special shade of blue with the specks of shiny stuff in it. I don't know what that's called. Anyway, make fun of me if you want. Don't judge. It's a special kind of blue paint with these little specks of glittery stuff in it. I don't know what that's called. Shimmery stuff. Don't judge me. I'm not a car person. Anyway, and it was $76. That was including tax. $76 for a quart of this paint. Thankfully, that's all we needed. And the guy threw in the clear coat at no extra cost. So then I helped my husband put the bumper on myself, and I put the light covers back on the rear lights, so I was proud of myself. Anyway, so we got that done. And then now we've got these bills because it's payday, and we have to get groceries. I have yet to make my grocery list. I am behind on everything this week because it's been so busy. So, thankfully I have some things to keep myself calm, and I gotta go to work, so I will talk to y'all later.